Brethren and companions, welcome to this week's edition of the Thank Goodness It's Friday video blog. Coming up this week, we have an interview with Barry Chamberlain from Union Lodge in Margate, who is raising money for cancer research. But first, we have an update of the news from this week and what's coming up next week. Union Lodge at Margate had an excellent talk on Zoom called Operation Fortitude, which is all about a plan to deliberately give the Germans fake news to mislead them from the location of where the D-Day landings were going to happen. Did you know that Union Lodge currently have 7 new members waiting to be initiated, and they also have 3 joining members as well? Clearly, they are doing something very well. Can any lodge beat this? Would love to hear from you if you can. We also had the Education Elevai by Graham Chisnell, with an excellent explanation on the East Kent Light Blues. Graham used the new webinar facility on Zoom, which facilitated the use of a panel of speakers to talk about the Light Blues. Don't forget, the next Education Elevai is next month, and you will have all received an email by now talking about the Elevais that are coming up, and the sign-up process is really very simple. So what are you waiting for? We will also look to live stream the Elevai on the closed Facebook page, so watch this space. It's going to be rather fun. This Saturday, the Sheerness Centre are holding a virtual race night, and there is still time to book in. Next week is looking a little quieter, but soon to be released are some new Holy Royal Arch chapter education sheets, which are in themselves a great read. And this weekend, we will be releasing the details of the East Kent boat race by email. This event is going to be lots of fun, and don't forget, the proceeds are going to the Provincial 2025 Festival. And now to the interview with Barry Chamberlain from Union Lodge. And this will hopefully be of interest to the cyclists in the province and those members who wish to support cancer research. And of course, not forgetting those who just like to have some fun. Barry, tell everyone who you are, where you come from, and a little bit about your lodge.
Hello there. My name's Barry Chamberlain. I live in Broadstairs with my wife, Michelle. I'm a past master of Union Lodge number 127. Who meets in Margate and have done for many years. I'm currently the lodge mentor. Our lodge is a very old lodge. It's not afraid to try new things, even if it means failing and trying again.
Well, Barry, that's nice to know. I mean, Union Lodge. Now we're going off completely off piste at the moment. Union Lodge is a very successful lodge down in Margate. And as I understand it, at this moment in time, you've got 7 members, or 7 people waiting to be initiated after lockdown, and you've got 3 members waiting to become joining members. So that's absolutely brilliant, and that's the way to go. So Union Lodge is obviously doing something very right, and perhaps you could tell us your secrets at some point in the future. But I understand that you are into cycling and that you are raising money through riding. Can you explain what you're up to?
In fact, I'm very new to cycling. I only took it up a few weeks ago. I had an old mountain bike that I always felt uncomfortable on. Decided that I needed a new bike and spent quite a sum of money on one and had to justify it to my wife. So I just took the chance to shift some lockdown weight and perhaps get some fresh air. The reason, making money, most of us have been touched by the terrible C word in one shape or form, and I'm no exception. Having lost my father, who was a London Mason, to the disease a couple of years ago, and more recently my grandfather, as well as some close friends, it's not very far from my mind at any time.
No, you're right. I mean, it's it's a horrible disease. Um, but so, who are you raising the money for?
Well, I saw an advert on Twitter from Cancer Research UK, and they were promoting a 300-mile cycle challenge within a month. As the lodge mentor, I run a WhatsApp group involving all mentors and mentees. It enables them to discuss various Masonic topics and maybe a few humorous scenarios at times. I posted the flyer on there, and I asked the question, does anyone fancy teaming up and having a go? It was complete silence, not a response. Well, that was until the secretary piped up and offered quite a handsome sum of money if I took up the challenge myself. A few more brethren encouraged me, and they joined also in pledges of money. And all of a sudden, I had over £100 offered. And at that point, I just felt a large part of me committed. So offer went to Cancer Research to their website, and I signed up.
I mean, that sounds like well, absolutely excellent, really. Do you have a sum of money in mind that you want to, have you got a target that you want to raise, or are you just going with the flow?
I really want to raise as much money as possible, but I'd love to achieve around about £2,000. I'm nearly halfway there now. It's all advertised on the link, which you'll get later. But the money goes direct to Cancer Research via that link. But any donation, anyone that can afford anything, will be gratefully received.
Great. So how can people, members and non-members alike, how can they help you?
Well, the challenge starts for me on the 1st of April. I intend clocking up a good chunk of mileage over the bulk of a weekend and continue that through other weekends, and then top up the mileage during the week around work and family life, and as things we're released from lockdown, hopefully a bit of enjoyment. If anyone wishes to donate, they can do so by following the link, which I understand will be on screen. It's also the forum where I'll be updated my mileage and sort of the targets I'm achieving at that point. Other than that, any message of encouragement will be gratefully received.
Yes, absolutely. So you're going to be cycling your 100 miles, presumably around Margate, sort of the southern part of East Kent?
I'll be going out. I'm hoping to achieve single rides, sort of like there and back to my home address, probably up to 40, maybe 50 miles at a time, and then sort of progressing during the week just to, as I said, top up the mileage. Depends on the pain barrier.
Now, obviously, there are quite a few keen cyclists in the province. If anybody wants to join you on the ride, can they do so?
Yes, of course I can. I mean, I expect this to be painful at times. I'm not exactly built like a racing snake. I'm built more for comfort, some might say. But I'm ready for the challenge, and I don't give up easily. But any support from my friends, family, colleagues, Masons, please contact me. You can have my details later. And yeah, I'll sort of certainly need that encouragement and a bit of shoving maybe at times.
Yeah, so just on the front, have you got any fears or expectations, bearing in mind this is something relatively new?
Not so much fears, expectations. I expect, as I said, it will be painful at times. My mindset, I wouldn't have taken this challenge lightly at all if I didn't think I could achieve it. Some years ago, I was quite heavily into physical challenges, but the last 20, 25 years, perhaps not so much. So I'm sort of going back to my roots. It is a challenge for me, but I just focused on achieving the task.
Okay, here's a question for you. As many pro riders do, will you be shaving your legs?
Perhaps not on this occasion. I think I'll save that to the pantomime, should I'll be invited to join the cast members. Okay.
Clearly, you have charity as a strong link in your heart. And assuming that along the way that you're aiming to have some fun,
I hope so. However, I mean, I'm always looking for ways to raise money for charity where possible, where people can enjoy themselves. I organise Margate Burns nights, race days at Brands Hatch, usually for Masonic charities, and people can have fun that way. This challenge I consider to be, I'm leading somewhat by example to show how fundraising can not just benefit charities, but it can be supported by completing a personal achievement. And it all was born just because I was challenged. So charity begins at home, they say.
Barry, well done. Hopefully you'll get lots of support in your challenge, obviously for a very worthwhile cause. And I would just like to thank you for allowing me just to interview you. And on behalf of all our members, I wish you well in actually achieving your task. Well, brethren and companions, that's it for this week's edition of the Thank Goodness It's Friday video blog. If you would like to donate to Barry's fundraising page, you will find the link on the screen now. Likewise, if you would like to contact Barry to join in on his cycle rides, please contact me on the following email address, and I will forward the emails on to Barry. Take care, brethren. Stay safe.